What's going on?
Finally, we are back. We are back. I did say this in the last episode, and I do apologise, but I didn't stick to my word. I said that after I got married, the podcast would be more consistent. But again, it's been another month since the last episode, so I do apologise. But guys, I just got married. Now I haven't been on my full honeymoon yet, but we did go on a mini moon straight after for a couple of days. Then it was pretty much straight back into gigs. You know, I had a full weekend. I think it was it a bank holiday? I think it was a bank holiday. Yeah, so I was busy on the Friday, Saturday, and the Sunday. So yeah, it was just action packed, and then from there it hasn't really slowed down. So honest to God, this is the first opportunity I've had to sit down and actually record a new episode of Zoo's Reviews. So I appreciate your patience for the consistent listeners. But if you're new here, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to Zoo's Reviews, the podcast where we discuss the latest and greatest in music, movies, and media. If I find it cool or interesting, then I'm going to talk about it. Every single month, listeners are invited to submit their own music full review on the show. All you have to do is send your links to me on Instagram at official_Zurra. If you don't make music but you want to contribute to the show, you're more than welcome to send through some quick fire topics which we will tackle at the end of each episode. Now, if you're tuning in right now and you're listening on YouTube, maybe you're tuning into the premiere. This premieres on Thursdays between 8 and 9 UK time. And you haven't done so already, please consider liking the video, drop a comment, hit us up on the live chat, let us know that you're here, and also hit the subscribe button. It really does help push the channel and push this show towards more people like yourself who may enjoy it. If you're listening via Spotify, please consider dropping this a like or a favorite or whatever it is on Spotify. I listen to podcasts on Spotify, but I don't even understand it anyway. And you can also drop us a review. We've got a few 5-star reviews so far from the listeners, so I really do appreciate that. If we can keep it to 5 stars, amazing. So yeah, feel free to drop us a review as well. And I also drop these episodes on SoundCloud as well. So yeah, if you're listening via SoundCloud, please consider maybe hitting the repost button, drop us a like, drop a comment, let us know where you're listening from as well. It's always nice to connect with people who are tuning in, whether they're new or returning. So yeah, thank you very much in advance for supporting. So, let me fill you in on what I've been up to this past month, because it's been hectic. Like I said, in episode 11, I gave you guys a little heads up that, you know, the frequency of the episodes was going to return to fortnightly, which was what we were doing originally. And then the last couple of episodes have just kind of, you know, been once a month. But that is because I was getting married. So, please let me off. I was busy being a married man. So, I'm going to kind of give you guys a little bit of a rundown on, you know, the actual wedding itself in just a little bit. But other than getting married, like I mentioned, been on a bit of a mini moon, straight back into gigs, and honestly life just has not slowed down. You know, I've been doing all kinds of things with, you know, family, friends, and this, that, and the other. It's just been really nice to kind of do something that I don't get to do a lot, which is, you know, have a bit of a social life. So that's been really, really nice, and I've been able to spend a lot of quality time with my wife, which I'm still getting used to saying, and some friends and family and stuff like that. So that's been really, really nice, and I've really enjoyed that bit of downtime. Now, I have been working hard in the studio as well. I've been, you know, conjuring up loads of cool records ready for 2026 and beyond. Working hard with my manager on a plan for next year. And yeah, just recording loads of content as well, you know. Like I've really kind of like reinvigorated my love for DJing, and I'm really trying to take more risks and do more cool stuff when I perform now. And yeah, if you guys are following me on Instagram, you may have seen some clips of me kind of dissecting DJ transitions and stuff. That's something that I really want to do more of in future as well. And I don't want to just do it for my transitions either. So if you guys want to see me break down other people's transitions and kind of talk through you know, what they're doing and when and why they're doing it, I'd be more than happy to do so. Just let me know if that's something that you're interested in hearing, for sure. But yeah, other than that, a recent development in my life is I have got back into doing card tricks. Now, you guys listening, you might not know, but I absolutely love magic, right? I love close up, specifically card tricks, because everyone on the planet has a pack of cards in their house, right? Everyone has a pack of cards in their house. And it's just always baffled me that you can have this like household item that basically every household in the UK has, and the world actually, and just do all this crazy stuff with it. And I remember during lockdown in particular, I had a lot of free time on my hands. So did a lot of people. I decided, I'm going to learn some card tricks. Decided to learned some cool card tricks, started doing something called Magic Mondays on my Facebook account. And then as things started opening, I kind of neglected the tricks and stuff. And like, I always had like five or six that I could show on demand to people if I wanted to. But recently, I came across like some old David Blaine videos. And like now that I understand how some of those tricks work, I'm like, okay, like I still appreciate how good he is at doing those tricks, but like I know the secret behind a lot of them now, which hasn't ruined it for me at all. If anything, it's elevated how much I appreciate the pros when they do it and how smooth they are. But I thought maybe I should learn a couple more tricks. So that is what I have been up to. I have been learning some extra card tricks and stuff like that, and who knows, maybe I'll get that up on socials at some point. Maybe I can find a way to fuse music and magic together. But yeah, that's been really cool to get back into. I really do enjoy doing card tricks. I just love it for the reaction from people, and especially when it's someone that I don't know, when it's like a complete stranger, that's even better. Because if it's someone I know, sometimes I feel like I'm getting like the sympathy. Wow, like oh, that's cool. But when it's someone that doesn't know me and doesn't have a bias towards me or like doesn't care if my feelings get hurt, like when they're genuinely amazed, that for me is like, okay, cool, I got you in my back pocket now. Here's another one. So that's been pretty cool. What else have I been doing? Yeah, I set up a separate Instagram account for like all my jiu-jitsu content as well, just because I did kind of put the feelers out onto socials. Like, I was kind of, every now and then uploading like, pictures of me training and stuff like that, or like, any kind of anything related to my jiu-jitsu training on my Zurra profile. And it wasn't really people weren't really interacting with it too much other than people that I trained with. Or every now and then I'd get a new follower who was a jiu-jitsu practitioner from another part of the country, so that was nice to connect with other people, but it wasn't really resonating with my like listeners. So I've set up a new Instagram. It's called it's underscore Zujitsu. If you are interested in any jiu-jitsu ramblings or anything like that, or if you're a mixed martial artist or whatever, if that floats your boat more than the music stuff, then you know what to do. Drop me a follow at it's underscore Zujitsu. And then after that, I promise I'm going to keep the two worlds separate because yeah, I appreciate that not everyone that listens to my tunes wants to see me dress up in pajamas and roll around on the floor with people. Similarly, the people that I train with that maybe follow my music stuff, maybe they don't want to hear my music stuff. So I've kind of separated the two worlds. Anyway, if that floats your boat, then yeah, go and drop me a follow. Other than that, yeah, it's literally just been life's just been busy, like super busy. I'm back doing DJ workshops in Bristol now that the school term has started. So that's been really cool. I've been absolutely loving some of the new students that have come through. I've got some like year 10s and 11s now who are a little bit older than some of the people that I've done workshops with previously. And they get it quicker, and they also have a bit of a better idea of what music they're into, so it's quite nice. And being in Bristol, a lot of them like drum and bass and UK garage and stuff like that, so that makes my day way better because we get to listen to some filthy jump up and some wob wobs. A lot of Oppie Down and Sammy Vergi I've been getting requests for from these kids as well, which is like, how the hell do you know who these guys are? But it's great to see, and that is what we like to hear. Cool. So what I'm going to do before we kick off the music reviews is kind of give you a rundown on the wedding, because it was quite an event. And we did it twice. It was so nice we did it twice. So let me talk you through the whole weekend. So on the Saturday, we went and did the legal side of it. We went to a registry office in Bristol, went and got the papers signed to make it official. And we dressed up for the occasion and stuff like that, but it was a little bit less formal. Would I say formal? I don't know. Anyway, I'll get to that bit in a minute. But anyway, we dressed up nice for the occasion. We went and signed the papers, blah, blah, blah. My dad did a reading. Now, famously, my dad did a speech at my sister's wedding, which was an absolute car crash. So, I mean, it wasn't a car crash, but he went off script and, like, quite dramatically went off script as well. So he had something written down and he ripped it in half and he was just like, you know what? Sometimes you just have to speak from the heart. And everyone was like, oh, this is going to be beautiful. And I was like, this is going to be absolutely fucking diabolical. I think I was the only one that was like, aware of how bad this could go. And it was pretty bad. So we were kind of, I mean, not only is it not traditional for the father of the groom to do a speech, but Jess was quite keen, my wife, to not have my dad speak at the wedding. And I was like, you know what? I get it. Fair enough. Not only is it not traditional, but yeah, fair enough. And the closer and closer it got to the wedding, I thought, you know what? There's got to be space for him to say something. And then when we were kind of getting ourselves ready for the registry office jobby, there was a slot for a reading, and we thought, great, this is an opportunity that we can give to my dad. And he, of course, you know, took it and ran. And it was a reading. It was supposed to be maybe like a poem or like a short story or something like that. Nothing too crazy, not a speech. But he kept saying, "Oh yeah, like I'm really looking forward to my speech." And I was like, "No, no, it's not a speech. It's not a speech. Find a fucking poem or something like that." But yeah, he came through, and on the day, it started with the words "Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Radioactive Spider-Man." Which, if you guys know me, you know I love Marvel, and Spider-Man is the fucking goat. That was how he started his reading at our formal registry office wedding. um, Everything that followed that was absolutely beautiful. Like, it almost brought me to tears. It was such a nice reading. And then he signed off with great power comes great responsibility. And what a way to wrap it up. The tears then became laughter, and it was beautiful. Everyone enjoyed it. Everyone enjoyed it. So we got the document signed. It's official. We're married. We jump out. We get photos taken. We're having the time of our lives. Blah blah blah. We go and have a nice dinner. So there's my parents there. There's Jess's parents there. Siblings. Partners and stuff like that there. And we were just there having a wicked time. And it's the opportunity for us all to get together, my family and Jess's family, have been minimal since we've got together, and we've been together almost a decade. And just to see everyone together having a good time for me was just unbelievable. And I knew it was about to get even better because this was like part one of a three-part series, maybe even a four-part series. But yeah, that was on the Saturday. We ended up going to a pub after, had a few drinks, but me and Jess knew that the real deal started the following day. So on the Sunday, we made our way to the wedding venue, Folly Farm, which is just between Bristol and Bath. Absolutely beautiful. We had to do a lot of decorating. We had to do a lot of setting up at the venue and stuff like that. Luckily, we had our groomsmen, our bridesmaids, and stuff like that. They were all available on hand to help out. And literally within an hour, we were expecting this to take a few hours. Literally within an hour, it was all set up. Everyone was just, on the ball in terms of like getting things sorted, and it was just so nice to see everyone kind of banding together to make it happen. So we set up some garden games, had some cool garden games. I mean, that involved badminton, football, loads of stuff. We lost the ball in the pond a few times, and shock horror, the person who lost the ball didn't actually go and get it. We had to send someone else to get it because they were a lazy cunt. I'm talking about you, Connor, if you're listening. um and yeah, everyone was just having a great time. The idea was, on that Sunday, it was a chance for everyone to kind of like mingle and get to know each other before we did the whole big full-on celebration on the Monday. And it was so nice to see everyone just mingling, everyone, people meeting for the first time and getting on and hitting it off and stuff like that. For me, it was just beautiful, absolutely beautiful, beautiful, beautiful moment. And then my sister and her husband Michael, they put together a little quiz in the evening, which I wasn't entirely happy about, if I'm 100% honest, because it started with what I can only call a vicious attack by my brother-in-law Michael, who decided he would airdrop a bunch of selfies from me from 2011 and 2012. Maybe not even that. Yeah. I would have been about 16, 17 at the time. Yeah. And they are absolutely honking selfies. Horrific. Not a good look for me at all. So now I've got a bunch of Jess's family who haven't met me before until this day. Now they've got a bunch of like topless selfies of me, like bad, bad, bad start. But the quiz itself was amazing. But I'd like to formally apologise to anyone who's still got those pictures on their phone. Please get rid of them. I don't want things like that hanging around on people's phones for no reason. So delete, delete, delete. Thank you. So yeah, we got a nice early night. Me and Jess, we got a nice early night, got up nice and early on the Monday, and we were like, right, it's wedding time. I was super, super giddy. I was super excited. I could see that she was very excited as well. I think there were a bit more nerves in the female camp than the male camp. I went straight over to my groomsmen's room. We cracked open a beer at like, I don't know, 10 a.m. And we just vibed out to some music. I think, yeah, playlist duties again. Connor came through with like some garage, so we were just like having a little bop as we're getting ready, suited and booted, all that. And I have no idea what the girls were up to, but I'm sure they were doing a very similar thing involving a lot of makeup and dresses and hair and stuff like that. You know what it's like for lads. We can literally just, put a little bit of links on, whack our pants on, and we're good to go. The female getting ready process is obviously a little bit more longer winded, but yeah, got to the ceremony. We read our vows. It was beautiful. The weather was really on our side as well. Like it wasn't amazing at that point, but we didn't want it to be too hot because everyone's suited and booted, blah blah blah. And yeah, it was just perfect. It was just perfect, and I let out, and this only really hit me in hindsight, but I let out the girliest little squeal when I saw my wife walking down the aisle. And I was mic'd up because the videographer was obviously capturing it all, doing the reaction and stuff like that. And I really hope that he's edited the noise that I made out because oh God, it's just reverberating in my head. I was just so excited to see her, and she looked absolutely amazing, like she always does. But like she was like an angel on this occasion, so it was just yeah, absolutely incredible. But I knew as soon as I opened my mouth, as soon as I turned around and saw her, this weird little kind of came out my mouth, and I was like, I'm fucking mic'd up. Like, I really hope that he deletes that in the edit. So yeah, do me a solid, Brad. I really appreciate that. By the way, he did a fantastic job all day capturing all the action. So did our photographer Grace. Really appreciate everything that they did to capture all the magical moments on our special day. Once the ceremony was done, we had a little moment to decompress by ourselves, which was really nice, and then back into the action. So yeah, the garden games were still going. We were getting loads of photos done and stuff like that. Sat down for something to eat, did the speeches. I was shitting myself for my speech, but I felt like it went well. Jess's speech was amazing. Jess's dad's speech was amazing. Nigel, who was doing the speech from my groomsman as well. He did a fantastic job with his speech. It was fucking chaos, don't get me wrong, but he did a really, really good job. And then it was straight into the party. So they cleared out all the tables and stuff like that. And then one of my groomsmen, Connor, he got up there with his guitarist Christian. They kicked the party off. And oh my days, it was just amazing. Oh yeah, we did the first dance as well. But straight after the first dance, we went straight into the music from Connor, which really set the vibes nice and early. Like it was just so much fun, so much fun. And then for a bit of context, there were a lot of DJs at my wedding. There were a lot of DJs, and actually, like three of them came up to me with USBs because they saw decks and they were like, "Oh yeah, we can jump on at any point." Blah blah blah. I was like, "No, tonight's not the night for DJs. No back to backs. No silliness." Like, take a look around. Like it's just a bunch of people like from different age ranges and stuff. So I pre-recorded a bunch of mixes to try and cater for everyone that was there, right? Um, and so yeah, I had to kind of bat people off like, look, don't touch the decks, keep your USB stick to yourself. See you later. Just enjoy the wedding. Fuck off. But yeah, I recorded a few mixes for after Connor and Christian were playing music, and then we just danced the night away, and it was just absolutely beautiful. So come Tuesday morning, obviously everyone's hanging out their ass and stuff like that, but we were all staying together. So like we are all helping pack up together and stuff like that. And it was a beautiful like 4 days. Was it 4 days? Yeah. So Saturday, registry office. Sunday, everyone got together. Monday was the wedding. Tuesday, everyone was still together. And we were kind of like, packing down, saying our goodbyes and stuff like that. And it was just the most beautiful, beautiful 4 days. Straight after that, me and Jess, we go straight for a little mini moon in Somerset. I think it was Somerset. Anyway, we were away in a log cabin. Just in the middle of farmland, and it was beautiful, nice and remote. No one could get to us, we couldn't get to anything else, and it was just cool. And I'll be honest, we just sat in bed and watched bloody Four in a Bed. um we chilled, we got in the hot tub, we went for nice walks, ate good food. Just perfect, just absolutely perfect. So I suppose if I had to review my wedding, I should probably give it a 5 out of 5 zoos, right? But like, if I wanted to break the Richter scale for this one, I couldn't even give you a number. It was just the most perfect few days. And I'm super, super grateful to all the people that were there. Super, super grateful to everyone who's obviously wished me and the wife well. And just grateful for my wife because, she put so much time and effort into the organization, decorating and stuff like that. and to see her vision come to life was absolutely beautiful. Um, and yeah, for those 3 days, it was her world, and I was just living in it, and I loved every second. So yeah, the wedding's gonna get 5 out of 5 zoos. Yeah, it was predictable. Come on, but yeah, it was just really cool. So I just wanted to kind of share what that looked like with you guys, and 100% like in the honeymoon phase still, but we've been in the honeymoon phase our entire relationship. So, like I can't see that disappearing anytime soon. However, I do feel like I may have overcommitted to some of the jobs that I'm willing to do around the house now. So I feel like I've really set a high bar, and I don't think I'm going to be able to maintain that standard, but we'll have to wait and see. That's my fault. I shot myself in the foot. But anyway, that was the wedding. I wanted to get that off my chest. I wanted to share that experience with you guys. It was really, really cool. Now, let's get into the music review. So, we're going to get straight into a new one from the boy Jude Specter. We've reviewed some of his music on the show before, and this time he is coming through with a new demo called Remember. Now, this isn't out yet. This is still a work in progress, but he said that this is very close to finished and he really wants to get my thoughts on it. So, we're going to sit back, relax, and enjoy to the sounds of Jude Specter. This one is titled Remember. Let's get into it. Now, it's important to let you guys know this is the extended mix. So there is going to be, well, a lot of drum action before we get into the main section of the song. So far, so good. Okay, this is sounding cool. This is sounding cool. Oh, very nice. I like the different stabs, the different bass noises you got going on in there.
A night to remember. I want to give you a night to remember. Give you a night to remember. I want to give you a night to remember. I want to give you. I want to give you. I want to give you. I want to give you.
Here comes the build.
I want to give you. I want to give you. I want to give you a night to remember.
Nice, that sounds really cool. Really, really cool.
I want to give you a night to remember. Give you.
This is really cool, Jude. I really, really do like this, actually. What I'm going to do, just because I'm conscious of time, I can see that the drop section is probably going to come to an end in about another 30 seconds or so. So I'm just going to start bringing the levels down, and then we can get into it. Now, there is a lot of variation here, Jude, which is quite cool. And I like the bass line. The bass line's very cool, very kind of Mal-P. And I feel like I've made that comment about your music before. Like, it's definitely got a Mal-P vibe in terms of like how you lay out the atmospherics, the vocal, the kind of synths and sounds that you're using. But yeah, like really, really cool stuff, man. I really like the sound of Remember so far. So, oh, what the hell was that? Something squeaky. I don't know if the mic picked that up, but that was gross. But yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. So with the yeah, because it was an extended mix and stuff like that, obviously you got the drums at the start. I do think that the drums could. I don't think the drums sound like they belong with each other at the moment. I do think that the sample selection does need to be a little bit better on the drums, just so that they sound like they belong. And if you are going to go with those samples, at least maybe put them, in the same space. So like kind of, bust them together on the same reverb or whatever. That made me sound like I know what I'm talking about with buses. I don't bus on any of my stuff, but I know that a lot of people do. So I thought I would just try and use some technical term that I don't even really understand. But yeah, to kind of put it simply, make them sound like they belong in the same space. So I like to apply my reverbs to drums individually rather than as a group. Even though a group can make it, grouping the reverb can make it sound like it belongs as part of the same kit. I like the control of each individual hit. But yeah, just make them sound like they belong in the same room. Because at the moment the samples sound a bit dry and they don't really sound like they belong with each other. The bass line sounds really cool. I love the stabs and the synths and stuff that you got going on top. The sound design really really cool. And it all fits as well. So in terms of like the overall sonic aesthetic, those bits sound like they belong with each other. The drums at the moment don't feel like they fit as part of this track. I could almost hear like speed garagey drums, but at this tempo, like with a bit of skip to it. At the minute it's all a little bit kind of too on the dot. It's a little bit too quantized. Like you get a bit of swing going on. Like that's what I would do to just elevate this. You could keep the samples but add some swing to it, or you could maybe try and find some speed garage top loops to really kind of like add to that kind of like gritty kind of. Malp does it a lot, Reardon does it a lot. So yeah, if that's the kind of sound that you're trying to emulate, then that's a great place to start. But overall, mate, I think this is really cool. I think this is a really really cool idea. I'd love to hear the final finished product for sure when it's available. But as a demo for now, I think this is a really good start and a really good place to build on. So I would give this a 3 out of 5 zoos. I don't think it's quite there yet in terms of production quality, but you've got all the right pieces. You've got all the right things in there. It's just a case of elevating some things and kind of making room for others. But for me, the main thing is the drums just don't sound like they belong at all. You could also do with some more transitional effects, especially in that breakdown. It just felt a little bit empty. It kind of felt like the energy just died and then we get the energy back again. You need to either automate the energy away and stuff like that, so you can maybe high pass filter like the bass sound and stuff like that, just to really kind of take all the lows out, and then the drop hits harder. And then when you're going from the drop section into a breakdown, get some transitional effects so that it feels a bit smoother. And you can also kind of mask up any kind of imperfections with the transition as well, because I noticed the drums kind of filtered themselves out and that didn't entirely sound great to me, but you can mask that with some transitional effects. But that's just my 2 cents, Jude. I really really like what I'm hearing from this. 3 out of 5 zoos from me. That was Remember by Jude Specter. Now we're going to get into the next one here, and this is from Alex Preston, and this is coming up very very soon on Hugs. It's titled Power. Let's get into it.
Power don't fail me now. Power don't let me down. Power rise up and let me lead. Power don't fail me now. Power don't let me down. Power rise up and let me lead. Power don't stall when I need you. Right now I need you. Power don't stall when I need you. Right now I need you.
Oh yes, boy. Love that. Sorry, I wasn't speaking during the intro because I was just getting gassed. I was just immediately hooked. Love the chords. This is so groovy. Nice progression. Really, really loving this, dude. This is sick. Yeah, I love it. It just keeps evolving. It just keeps evolving. This is really cool. New things are coming in. Some things are going out. This is great. This is really, really great. Man, so good. So good.
The good and the bad, this joy that I have, happy or sad, they can't take it away. They give it, they take it away. The glory, the fame, all in the name.
This breakdown is so euphoric. So euphoric. That vocal is just so sick. It just works really, really well with the chords, the pads. Obviously the tension string, like this is house music through and through. This is cool. Again, I'm just conscious of time, so I'm going to let this drop and then I'm going to fade it out and then we'll get into it. But this is really, really cool. Love it. Love it. Man, I am so playing this in my sets. Like, this is just fucking awesome. Alex Preston, ladies and gents. That one. Oh, my days. That was so cool. That one was titled Power by Alex Preston, coming out soon on Hugs. Dude, take a bow. That is really, really cool. Really, really cool. Alex Preston, I've actually been supporting your tunes for such a long time. Not just on the pod, but, you know, live gigs, radio show and stuff like that. Do You Like It Funky? I play that all the time. Just trying to think what the other one is. There's another one that I play all the time and it's got a really, really cool can't remember what it's called at the top of my head, but I love it. I absolutely love it. Your productions are just brilliant as well. Really, really well put together. But this, I think, could be my favourite tune that I think I've ever heard from you. This is getting 4.5 out of 5 zoos. Like, this is just unbelievable. I feel like I could play this in so many different environments and it would work. Like, I feel like this would get a great reaction, like, pretty much anywhere you play it. Day party, late at night, maybe a closing tune, opener. This is a really, really versatile dance track. And I love it. I love it. I'm going to be spinning this in my sets for a very, very long time. So Alex Preston with Power coming out soon on Hugs. That gets 4.5 out of 5 zoos. I love that. Thank you so, so much for that one, dude. And then finally, we're going to get into a brand new one, which is coming out soon on Warehouse Disco, called You Get Hooked by James Anthony. Let's get into it. Here we go. Techie action already. Some disco-y influence as well. This is a really, really wicked label as well. They're releasing a lot of awesome tracks in a minute, Warehouse Disco. So I'm very excited to see what we've got lined up here. Nice. Love those stabs. The drums, the stab, the bass, it all works so well. And then those disco-y strings as well. That's what I mean by transition effects as well, for those who don't know what I'm talking about. So we've just gone down into the breakdown and you can hear that kind of sweepy effect. And it's kind of, yeah, masked the transition almost, so that the decrease in energy isn't as noticeable. This is a certified party starter, man. This is a certified party starter. Nice long build as well. Really, really cool. I can so see someone like Mark Knight spinning this. This is so, so cool. Very tall roomy. I'm going to start fading it out now, just conscious of time, but damn. Another absolute belter. What? We've been lucky. We've been lucky again this week. James Anthony there with You Get Hooked, coming out soon on Warehouse Disco. One of my favourite labels at the moment, for sure. Yeah, I'm going to say it with my chest. Like, they're really bringing out some cool tunes for the clubs. And it's like, unapologetically like unique, the sound that they're going for. So yeah, if you haven't heard of them, definitely go check them out. But James Anthony, this is awesome, dude. This is very, very much my thing because you've left it. It's full on. There's a lot going on, which is really cool. But you've left it open enough for DJs to work with and stuff when they play it. And a lot of the time that gets missed nowadays. Like people try and make the biggest, busiest, best tune that they can make with so much cool stuff going on that they forget that sometimes makes it hard for DJs to be able to mix in and out of it, and sometimes that can put DJs off of playing it. But this is the perfect balance. It's the perfect balance of busy. You got a lot going on with the vocal, the disco strings, the bass, the drums. But you never overcomplicate it, and I really appreciate that from a DJ's point of view, and I appreciate how from a producer's point of view, how you've managed to kind of find that balance as well. So that really, yeah, that really sits well with me for sure. There's not really much I can say about this, mate. Like, this is a really well put together record. Maybe the drums could do with a bit of extra oomph. I don't know, but like, it could just be the headphones that I'm listening to right now. I mean, I haven't exactly got the levels high either, but I reckon this will absolutely bang in the studio. So when I next go for a mix, I'm going to whack this in there because I absolutely love it. I think, yeah, this is going to get a 4.5 out of 5 zoos. Yeah, 4.5. Yeah, I think it's really, really cool. Like I said, I can see someone like Mark Knight giving this a spin for sure. Very, very Tool Room, and I'd be very surprised if I don't see your name on some Tool Room Records artwork at some point if you're producing bangers like this, because that was awesome. Yeah, I'm saying it with my chest. I'm saying it with my chest. You Get Hooked by James Anthony. That gets 4.5 out of 5 zoos. It's a banger. It's a banger. And I believe it's out this Friday as well. So yeah, if you like that, definitely go and support these records as well. So yeah, we'll do a little recap. We've got Jude Specter with Remember. That's a demo, so that's not currently available. But I'll be keeping an eye out for the release information for that one for sure. Alex Preston Power. That is out on Hugs, I believe, on Friday. Yeah, so the 19th of September. Yeah, wicked. Tomorrow, if you're listening live. And the same again with You Get Hooked by James Anthony. That's also out on the 19th of September on Warehouse Disco. What a treat. What a treat. What a release weekend it is for you guys. God, go and get stuck in. Beatport. Get it done. Get it done. So yeah, massive, massive thank you to all the music submissions. Yeah, well done to everyone as well. And if you want to send some music in that you want reviewed on the show, all you have to do is hit me up on the socials at official_Zurra. Send it to me on Instagram, send it to me on WhatsApp, wherever you can find me, just send it to me and just let me know that you want it reviewed on the show, and I'll be more than happy to take a listen. We literally review every submission that we get. So yeah, don't be afraid. Just get it over. This also isn't exclusive to house artists as well. Like, we've had a lot of drum and bass, we've had some garage, we've had some breakbeat, techno, we've had some disco, all sorts. So, and I'd love to invite. Oh, we've had some dubstep as well, actually. But I'd love to invite artists that maybe aren't within the sphere of electronic music as well. I'd like to invite singers, songwriters, rappers as well. So if that's you, you know what to do. Get some music across to me. I'd be more than happy to take a listen. Cool. So before we get into the next review, which is going to be a movie review, and also like a little chat about a show that's absolutely taken over my life recently, we're going to get into my next single. It's a vibe. It's coming out. Oh boy, is it coming out on the 26th of September, which I'm very, very excited about. It's coming out on Club Whatever, and this has already picked up support from Jamie Jones, MK, Clapton, Biscuits, Martin Horger, Vintage Culture, Don Bresky. The list goes on. Like, we've really got so many big, big prominent names in dance music supporting this at the moment. I'm so excited to bring this one out. So excited. I put together the idea for this in literally 20 minutes. Like, the actual drop section, finding the vocal and stuff like that took me 20 minutes. And I remember, I can't remember exactly what I was doing, but I remember like I just had a very limited window to actually do any music work that day, and I used it to put together the idea. And then I revisited it like 2 weeks later and then finished it, actually like gave it a bit of an arrangement and stuff like that. But yeah, this is one of those ones where it's like the idea came quick and now a lot of big DJs are responding well to it, and I can't wait for you to hear it in its entirety. I've done a couple of teasers and stuff on the socials, but the full thing is available next Friday, the 26th of September, and I really do feel like you guys are going to absolutely love this one. It's really cheeky. It's really, really cheeky. It's fast paced. It's got a wicked vocal. The bass line is nice and bouncy. And yeah, I think that it's a good demonstration of how my production quality has improved, because this feels like a quite a complete record. So yeah, I really hope that you enjoy this one, guys. Keep an eye out for it on the socials. Keep an eye out for it on Spotify. You know, Beatport, if you can grab a copy when it's out, that'd be amazing. But I'm just letting you guys know that It's a Vibe is dropping very, very soon, and I'm super excited for you guys to hear it. Now, we're going to get into a quick little movie review before we talk about some of the topics that you guys have sent in. And this movie, I wouldn't even be watching or entertaining the idea of watching this movie if it wasn't for a show that me and the missus just decided to give a chance on Netflix, called Drive to Survive. Now, a lot of you will probably be thinking, hang on, wait, you haven't seen Drive to Survive? Trust me, I've had people telling me for the past, 5, 6 years to watch it, and Formula One's never been my thing. I've never been interested in cars, not even remotely interested in, like, motorsport. But I thought, you know what? All these people are telling me, like, it will change your mind and stuff like that. It's really good. So we'll give it a go. We were kind of at a lost end, me and the wife, and we thought, let's just give it a go. We got a couple of episodes in and we were like, when the fuck is the next Grand Prix? I was hooked. I was absolutely hooked, like you kind of, and obviously they dramatize, the kind of conflict between the teams and stuff like that. But I was here for it, dude. Like literally Mercedes, Red Bull, those two going at each other. And then all of a sudden you got like McLaren, the dark horses coming out of nowhere. I was here for the drama and the racing, and like, you get to see kind of the athleticism behind the drivers and stuff like that. That's a side of the sport I'd never seen before. So I was hooked. I was like, damn, this is really, really cool. So we decided that we were just going to absolutely shred that. We did it. We were watching multiple episodes a night, and then we finished it. And we were like, what are we going to do now? We finished Drive to Survive, knowing that they'll probably bring out a new, season of it and stuff after this Formula One season's finished. I decided to watch a couple of races. I think it was the Hungarian Grand Prix and the Dutch Grand Prix. No. Oh, God, no. It wasn't. No. It was Zandvoort. It was the Dutch Grand Prix. And then it was Monza, the Italian Grand Prix, over the past couple of weekends. And I loved every single second of it. I thought, this is mental. Like, now I have a better understanding of what these drivers are going through and, like, how much it's a team sport more than anything. Now, I feel like I'm so much more invested in what's happening. And every single lap, like, was exciting to watch on TV. Every single overtake, because you realise that the opportunities for overtakes are few and far between. And you realise the kind of limits to, there are limits to what they can do and stuff like that. So it made it really, really thrilling for me. Now, earlier this year, Formula One, they brought out a movie starring Brad Pitt. And I had no intention of watching this movie ever because I wasn't involved or wasn't interested in Formula One at all. But we decided we're going to give it a go. Fuck me. What a good movie. Unbelievable. Like, Brad Pitt's good in everything that he's in, but he really, really kills it in this. Damson Idris, I've got to be 100% honest, I don't get the hype around him. I couldn't get on board with his character. I thought, and I know you're supposed to kind of dislike the cockiness of his character and stuff like that, but I just thought I wasn't sold. Like, I wasn't sold that I didn't believe the performance anyway. That was the only thing that I didn't like about the film. But other than that, everything was fucking bang on. Like, obviously you got some of the racers in there as well, like Max Verstappen getting a bit of screen time, Lando Norris. Obviously, there's a big battle, which I'm not going to ruin for you, but Lewis Hamilton's one of the producers, so of course he's going to be like the final boss kind of thing. And you get to see some of like the team presidents and stuff like that, principals, sorry. It's so cool. And after watching Drive to Survive, you get to kind of know these people a little bit. Like, you get to know some of the characters. I say characters, but like literally some of the people that are involved in the sport. And it's just great. Like, it's crazy. Like, it almost felt a bit surreal watching the film after watching Drive to Survive. Um, but yeah, really, really good. Director, I can't remember his name. I think it's John Kozlowski or something like that. I think I've absolutely butchered that, to be honest. But yeah, he did Top Gun Maverick. He also, I believe, he directed Tron Legacy. So he is really good at like visual storytelling, and like he's obviously got like a what are they called? What are they fucking called? So I'm looking around like someone's going to give me an answer, but it's just me in my room. What are they called? Director of cinematography or something like that? I have no idea. Anyway, the cinematographers, it's the same group of people that he worked with on Top Gun Maverick, and you can so fucking see it as well because the camera work in this, especially during the races, is fucking incredible. Even if you're not interested in the story, the plot, you need to watch this film for the races because the race scenes are fucking wild, like absolutely wild. And it's exactly what you would hope to see from a Formula One movie as well, because they don't cheese it up or anything like that. They got the commentators kind of explaining some of the rules and some of the things, like they explain DRS and the different types of tires and how pit stops work. And it's like they're obviously trying to introduce Formula One to maybe an American audience or something. I don't know, but like they don't assume that you know what you're talking about, but they also don't patronize you if you do know what you're talking about as well when it comes to the sport. And I really like that from a storytelling point of view. But damn, this is one of the best films I've seen in a long time. I absolutely loved it. And I was really surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Um, I think, yeah, there's not really much else to say other than like, if motorsports is your thing, you've probably seen this by now. But if you were like me and you've never been into it, I would still give this movie a chance. Because it will probably give you a newfound respect for motorsports. Especially Formula One. Formula One is absolutely fucking mental. That is something that I've learned over the past couple of months. Is that these athletes are just they're so close to dying every time they get in that fucking car. It's unbelievable. The speeds that they go at and their reaction times is superhuman. And this movie really kind of highlights how superhuman some of these people are. And yeah, I was here for it. I was absolutely here for it. So Formula One, the movie, something that I really wasn't looking forward to seeing at all, turned out to be one of the best films I've seen in a long time. It's going to get a 4.5 out of 5 zoos. I was so surprised, so surprised at how much I enjoyed this. I thought Brad Pitt's in it. It's going to be cheesy. Damson Idris, he's not exactly selling me. I mean, he did a good enough job, but for me, I was a little bit like, eh. And some of the supporting cast as well. I mean, I was really surprised at how well, like, the team principals and the racers and stuff acted. They had very minimal acting to do, don't get me wrong, but especially Toto Wolff, who had a little bit of a shine at the end. Yeah, really, really cool. But yeah, give it a go. And also, if you haven't checked out Drive to Survive, definitely watch that as well. It will probably change your mind on Formula One. It probably will. If it can change my mind, it will probably change your mind too, because I was a full-on Formula One hater. But now I cannot wait for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, which I got to wait an extra week for. So there you go. I'm now counting down the days. Look at me go. And I also look for tickets. It's fucking expensive to go and watch these races. Unless you go to watch the Hungarian one, where it's like 40 quid a ticket. Make it make sense. Anyway, I could be booking a holiday to Hungary, who knows. But yeah, Formula One the movie, 4.5 out of 5 zoos. Absolutely wicked. Check it out. Yeah, definitely worth a watch for sure. One of the highlights of 2025 so far. Cool. So, to wrap things up, guys, we're going to get into the listener topics. We always cover 3 at the end of each show. And if you want to do that, you can join the community that I've set up on Instagram, the Zoo Crew. I always ask the Zoo Crew for some suggestions to cover at the end of each episode. And yeah, if you want to get involved in that and you want to send your own submissions in, then keep an eye out for the community. Like, I do tend to share it to my story so that new people can join, but it should be in my bio on Instagram as well. If you want to be part of the Zoo Crew, then you know what to do. Right, the first one here we have got, if you could pick one artist to support on tour, who would it be? That's a great question. Right, let's have a little think about that. I've not even asked myself this question before. Like, maybe that is a question that I should have asked myself a long time ago. I think actually the name that really kind of like the name that really stands out to me is James Hype. Just because I feel like sonically, like our sounds are very similar. He started playing a lot of UKG recently as well, and that's something that I've been doing. Um, Kind of blending house and UKG and speed garage and all this good stuff. And production wise, he's been playing my music for years. Like he's been playing my music for years on big stages, on small stages, on live streams, here, there, everywhere. And obviously, I've signed a few records with Stereo Hype as well. So I don't know why I haven't supported him on tour, actually. But I would love the chance to do that. So yeah, I think that the main name that stands out to me is James Hype. I feel like stylistically, we've got a lot of similarities. Obviously, he is the GOAT, like, in terms of DJing ability and stuff like that. But I do think that there's a correlation there. I think that the music that I make is obviously to his taste because he plays it. I've signed to his label and stuff like that. And I think, in terms of DJing, I'm nowhere near as good as James Hype. Obviously not. Like, there are levels to this, and he's just levels above. But like, I do feel like stylistically, the way that I DJ does very much fit a James Hype show. So I think it would be him for sure. And I don't know how or if we can make that happen, but I'd love to make it happen because I feel like that would be a great opportunity. And it would, yeah, yeah. I don't see why we can't make that happen. And can't believe I haven't asked myself this question before. So yeah, thank you for sending that in. But yeah, it would be James Hype. Let's make it happen. Cool. Number 2. So, what are your worst habits? Um, what are your worst habits? Oh yeah, that's it. Um, well, I don't know if that's in relation to just life or DJing or music or anything. So I'll give you a handful. I've always bit my fingernails. Always bit my fingernails. That's a really bad habit that I have. And to be honest, I don't really know what triggers that. I think to a degree, I think I've got some kind of anxiety because like whenever I'm feeling like a little bit on edge or nervous or stressed, I do start to bite my fingernails. Um, and that's always been a bit of a bad habit. I suppose you could probably put smoking in there as well. Like I've had a kind of on-off relationship with smoking for a while, and it's a habit that I really really want to just kick for good. But I need to get myself out of the kind of I need to get myself out of the kind of way of thinking of like, oh, social smoking's fine. It's not fine. And yeah, I think that sometimes I kind of give myself a pass in social situations because everyone else is doing it and stuff like that. But quite honestly, like I know that I don't need to do it. So that's a bad habit. And then I think if you're talking musically, I beat match with my eyes a lot. But honestly, who doesn't? Who doesn't? Like the technology's at a point now where like, you actually don't really even need to use headphones. And you also really don't even need to beat match. You can just press the sync button if you want. But yeah, sometimes I rely more on my eyes to beat match than my ears, and that's more so because I want to hear what's going on outside the headphones. And maybe I haven't quite got the beats matched or anything like that, but I'm trying to do something a little bit quick fire and stuff like that. So yeah, sometimes I beat match with my eyes more than my ears. Um, and then just to satisfy the question, maybe a bad production habit as well. I kind of mentioned it earlier. I don't bus or anything like that, but also I don't really mix anything down until I've got everything in the project. So like everything is just fucking peaking. Everything is like redlining. It's going through the mixer super super fucking hot, and everything sounds like a mess until I've got everything in the project that I want in there. Then I start to bring everything down. But my days, that must be absolutely battering the CPU. But that's just the way that I operate, and I've always operated like that. And I it's a bad habit, but it works for me. So there we go. I hope that satisfies your question. There wasn't really any context around what kind of bad habits you were after, so there's a handful of them. Enjoy. And then finally, what's your weirdest gig that you've played to date? I've played some weird ones. I've definitely played some weird ones. I've played some really weird small ones that have kind of like tied into like I don't know, like a bingo drag night kind of thing. I've also done some larger gigs which have been a bit kind of like soul destroying. I think one of the weirdest experiences I ever had is I turned up to a gig in Reading once, and they only had one CDJ. And it was a Pioneer, and to my knowledge, they didn't have the same technology that the Denons did at the time, where you could switch between, deck A and deck B just at the press of a button, because that was something that had recently come out on the new Denon players at the time. So you could actually play with 4 channels, but only 2 decks. Blew my mind. But anyway, I turned up. There was a really, really shitty mixer and one CDJ. And I remember saying to the promoter, I was just like, "Where's the other deck?" And he was just like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "Where's the other CDJ? We've only got one in the booth." And he was like, "Oh, can't you do it with one?" I was like, "Can't I do what with one?" And he was just like, "The resident DJ here always just plays with one deck." And I was like, "Well, you're being scammed then, because that dude is not a fucking DJ. And if he is, tell me how he's doing it, because that is unbelievable and that needs to be studied." Anyway, I had to go next door to a place called Purple Turtle, and I asked for a CDJ because they were reluctant to do it. I was like, "Have you got a CDJ in here?" I played there before, so I knew that they would, but whether they had a spare one that they were able to loan out for the night, I didn't know. But I thought it's worth asking. I've come all the way to Reading. And then I had my second CDJ and I played. That was definitely very weird, but come to think of it, I was supposed to play at a boat party this past weekend, but because of the Tommy Robinson, whatever the fuck you want to call it, the event got cancelled because London didn't seem like a very smart place to host a party at the weekend. Um, but the last time that I played a boat party was probably the weirdest gig that I've ever played. Yeah, for sure. So I think this was probably around 2016, 2017, maybe. And I remember I was actually booked to headline this boat party, and it was for Vibe Collective. A good friend George booked me, and I was really looking forward to it. I had my boy John. He was recording content for me for the day, and because I was headlining, I was actually closing the boat, and I was enjoying everyone else's set and stuff like that. And finally got to my set. I get on, and no word of a lie, within 2 minutes of me starting, people are crying. Like, and I'm like, I can't be having this bad of a stinker. Like, what the hell's going on? People are crying. Like, the dance floor just evacuates, and like there's like all this kind of like screaming and shouting going on. And like there's people crying and there's people calling, making phone calls and stuff. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Anyway, my photographer, videographer Johnny comes up to me. He's just like, "Adam, I can't tell you what's happened, but something's happened. And yeah, just keep going as normal. Like, just act like nothing's happening." I was just like, "You can't fucking come up to me and say that. What the hell's going on? Everyone's ran away. Like, we're on a fucking boat in the middle of the Thames, and like there are people like crying, and like at first I thought it was me, but now I know it's definitely not me. Like, what the fuck is going on?" And then one of the security guards on the boat was just like, "You need to turn the music off now. We're shutting the power off on the boat." Turned all the lights off, turned the music off. I'm like, "Can someone now tell me? Can someone now tell me what the hell is going on?" And it turned out that the Tower Bridge attacks were happening right above us. We were literally on a boat underneath Tower Bridge. As the music cut off, as the lights came off, we could hear screaming and sirens and shouting, and it's actually making me a bit emotional thinking about it now. Right, there was literally a terrorist attack happening right above us. Now, the news that people were reacting to was the fact that there was a stabbing at Bournemouth. Crikey, I need to get my facts right on this one, honestly. But like these attackers, they ended up on Tower Bridge, but before that, they're in, I believe it was Borough Market. I could be 100% wrong. I'm just going to quickly fact check that because, yes, Borough Market. So yeah, sorry about that. I just needed to make sure that I had that right because otherwise I'm going to get Londoners saying you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But yeah, there was a stabbing at Borough Market by the people who ended up on Tower Bridge, who ended up, running people down in a van. They had vests on and they continued to try stabbing people. Just a fucking absolute shit show. And God, I can't imagine like what the families of those people would have had to, deal with off the back of that. I mean, it's traumatizing. It's absolutely horrific. People lost their lives that night, and we were just sitting ducks on this boat underneath it as it was happening, unable to do anything, unable to leave. And that is by far the weirdest gig I've ever played, for sure. Like, that was what kind of started as me being concerned that I wasn't doing a good job, that I was just like, what the hell's going on? Why are you crying? Then became it kind of put everything into perspective, and it then became a way, more important deal. And I was just like, okay, this is crazy. Like, this is absolutely crazy that this is happening right now. Um, Security, they had to dock the boat. Like, they were like, look, we have to get onto land. We have to, get people off the boat. We're sitting ducks, kind of thing. And then they just said, look, we don't know what to suggest, just good luck. And then everyone was running, screaming. There were loud noises, banging. We thought we heard gunshots. It was just some twat with a fucking recycling bin. But but yeah, it was a really, really wild night. We got welcomed into a mosque later that night. And they were like, look, we know we know, not personally, but we know that the people that have committed these attacks tonight will be, committing these attacks on behalf of Islam, and we want you to know that that's, you know, their version of Islam is very different to our version, and we want you to come in. And they welcomed us and stuff, and it was a very, very beautiful moment amongst all this chaos and stuff like that. We couldn't get back to. I was living in Guildford at the time. We couldn't get back to Guildford at the time. There were no trains. There were no public transport. Taxis were barely operating. London was basically locked down, and we had no way of getting back. So we were just walking around London. We ended up in Hackney, and we ended up at some chicken shop till like 4 a.m. They said, look, just come in. Just come in. Like, you don't have to buy anything. Just come and take a seat. And they pulled the shutters down and, had a chat with them and stuff like that. And again, they were Muslims as well. And they were just kind of like talking about how this is going to push everything back for the Muslim community by like, 10, 20 years and stuff. And how they're so upset that it damages the religion as a whole every time something like this happens and stuff. And it was really upsetting, really, really upsetting. And then eventually, finally, after hours and hours and hours of trying, we finally found a taxi service that would actually take us back to Guildford, and they would have made peas that night, because that is not a fucking short journey. But yeah, it was just fucking wild, and it was not the way that I thought that evening was going to go at all. And it really does, situations like that really put everything into perspective, and it was just one of the wildest experiences of my life. So, to cut a long story short, probably the weirdest gig I've ever done, for sure. You never expect to be caught up in the middle of a terrorist attack when you're booked to play a gig. It was just very, very bizarre. And yeah, just mental. Just mental. But anyway, I didn't want to end on a down note, but that was the question that was asked, and that was the answer I gave. So there we go. What we'll do a quick little recap on what we covered on this week's episode, and then I promise in a couple of weeks we'll be back with some more banging music, more reviews, and more good stuff. So we started off by talking about the wedding. Obviously, that gets a 5 out of 5 zoos. That was just the best day of my life by far. The best 4 days of my life, in fact. The Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Just 10 out of 10. Then got into the music review. So we had Jude Specter with Remember, an unreleased demo. That got 3 out of 5 zoos. Alex Preston with Power. That's dropping on Hugs this Friday. That got 4.5 out of 5 zoos. And then Warehouse Disco's You Get Hooked by James Anthony. That is coming out on Friday as well. 4.5 out of 5 zoos. Absolutely loved all of those tunes there. Big ups to everyone for sending that in. I then gave you a little brief introduction to my upcoming single, It's a Vibe. That's going to be dropping on Club Whatever next Friday, the 26th of September. We then got into the F1 movie review. That got 4.5 out of 5 zoos. Absolutely loved that film. You should 100% check it out. Brad Pitt is amazing. Get your kit off, Brad. And, and then we got into the listener topics, and that is it for this episode 12 of Zoos Reviews. So thank you very much for listening to me ramble. I really do appreciate it. We're going to be back very, very soon with some more goodness. And as promised, we are going to get some guests in. So yeah, just hold tight for that. Like, we're just kind of figuring out the technical side of things and how that's going to work, because we're also going to be changing the format of the podcast as well. So once we've got everything finalized and we get some guests on, then you'll be able to see all the exciting things that we've been working hard on behind the scenes as well. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll catch you next time. Peace.